Good evening, everybody. Let's call to order the November 4th, 2020 Historical Commission meeting. Time is 6:40. First order of business is public speak, and we don't have any public speak to speak of, so I guess we're good there. Okay, as I just said, I just sent the minutes to everybody. If you get a quick chance to look at them, that would be good, and we can do approval, or we can table that till the next meeting when I get the other two done.
Can we table it, please?
Sure.
Is that okay? Thank you.
Because I haven't read it either.
Yeah, thank you.
Correspondence. I haven't seen anything. Well, Jamie, you got some, I guess, right?
Yeah, there were two planning board requests for comments that I forwarded to the commission. One for 102 Northampton Street and one for 9 Coleman Road. I don't believe that either is proposing any demolition and their reuse. Well, the 102 Northampton Street is reuse of the Cernak Buick dealership for cannabis of some sort, and 9 Coleman Road is for the move-in self-storage units. They're building a small office. So if there was any comments, you should, I guess, reply directly to the planning board administrator, Curtis, was referenced in that email.
Sounds good.
Is the, do you know, Jamie, you know, they were proposing, that company from California was proposing buying the land across from Cernak Buick. Is this the same company that's proposing to buy it?
No, this is a different company. I believe this is the one that was granted a special permit on Wamelco Way. And then I think they were trying to move to a new location when the Cernak Buick opened up. I could be wrong about that. I haven't been following the planning board as much as, well, I haven't been following the planning board, but the one that's across the Tasty Top property, I have not seen or heard anything other than that initial public meeting that they had.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything. The only thing I did hear about that, it was probably not going to happen. So
The pandemic happened right after that, I think, didn't it?
Yeah. So, but you know, something will end up there, and if and when that happens, the Historic Commission should be notified, and hopefully we'll be able to get comments to the planning board about the canal and the back part of the property.
somebody's ringing.
And my phone,
Oh, okay.
the house phone, I can't turn it off.
That's all right. No problem. Okay, you know, I actually had put those on the agenda there, penciled them in. I guess I never made the revisions before I sent this to everybody. Sorry about that. Anyways, nobody had any comments about those, either one of those from our group. No. Okay. Item number 5, the New Haven Northampton Canal grant. That seems to be moving along pretty well. We did have a draft of what do they call them now, Jamie? It's not a request for proposals, it's request for.
They were calling it an RFPQ or something like that, but that's the first time that I had heard that term. So, oh yeah, it's a combination of requests for proposals or price quotes, and we are that working group has been meeting about monthly, and we, I guess, are finishing up the RFQ. Pioneer Valley Planning Commission's taking the lead on drafting the RFQ. And then I think the plan is to issue it and get funding from each municipality. So there might be a request for the CPA to fund 1/6 of the cost of the anticipated survey. So Easthampton's share would be about $10,000. And we'd probably look to the Historic Commission to make that request, or at least be there and in support of, if the commission is in support of it. But seeing as the commission was in support of the preliminary work, it would stand reason
Yeah,
for them to still in support of it.
personally, I think it's a great project at this point anyways. Could be interesting. Did I send the macros things to you, Jamie? I forwarded them to you?
These were the Canal, the things you sent to, I think you also send them to Shannon at PVPC.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
you know, both of them were kind of just stumbled across them randomly. The first one, it's listed under Highland Avenue. And, you know, it's a place you don't normally look, so really nothing down there. And just happened to come across it. And even if you do a search with New Haven first, it doesn't show up on the macros. So not really sure why. However, that's a pretty good report there. It's got a lot of information on it. The superintendent's house is bare bones, but at least it kind of gives an indication of where it is and whatnot. And, not a whole lot of background on it though. But there is some bibliographies there too. Also, Shannon put together a bibliography. I can forward it to the other members if they're interested in taking a look at it. I know
Yes, please.
Nora's shaking her head there.
Huh?
What happened?
I'm just sharing the that inventory that you'd sent out. So this was the superintendent's house, I guess. 134 West Street.
Yep. That's the old Touchstone Farm, right?
Yeah, I believe
Yeah.
so.
Looks like it, yeah.
So it's pretty bare bones.
Yeah,
Huh.
there's really not a whole lot of information. Assessors record.
And then the other one, let's see if I can pull this one up. Am I still sharing? No.
Not right now. Not yet.
My computer's frozen.
It's been cold.
Well, maybe we should just continue as I'm frozen.
Yeah. Don't really have a whole lot more on that to share, but
If I can get control of my computer, I will, we can come back. Oh, here we go.
there we go.
So, so this one is an 11-page document.
Oh, really?
So just, if you want to see this a little bit slower, just let me know if you want me to stop at any point.
Can you share the document?
Oh yeah, of course.
That would be great. And then you don't have to do the slow down thing right now.
Okay.
That would be lovely. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm just going quick to see if there's any. Okay, so this is just the general layout of where the canal.
Oh, that's really great.
If we just back up for a second. It's right here where it says Canal Road and deeply inside. That gully is a lot steeper than you could really imagine, because right here you're at at street level, and you go a little bit into the woods, and it goes down quite a bit. I don't know if they had a bridge across there or something, possibly. It's okay, you can keep going.
Mhm.
That whole area there is actually dug out
Just-
pretty well.
Yeah, before we move on from it, if I might, if you go back, Jamie, I just want to point out that at the very top of that there where it says swamp,
Mhm.
I have to stress from way back when the question first came up, to me, that's one of the primary places where I think there's the potential for something. There's a lot of evidence of the canal still there.
Yes.
It's a place that intersects with the bike path. It's kind of a no man's land of, nobody's going to develop it. It's a swamp. So I just want to point out to everybody, when I reference the place that I think is the number one spot, that's my vote, is right there.
Yeah.
This right here, or where it says swamp, right above that is where there's storage buildings there.
To the left of where it says swamp, I think.
Yeah, all right, well, left or just above it. It would be to the right of Lovefield Street. Actually, that one little section here, you can't see where I'm pointing, obviously. Right next to the question mark is actually still pretty wet right there. And across the street, there's that long, narrow house, which I think might have had something to do with the canal also, or whatever.
Now, I
another-
know the person whose family she said was there. Roxanne Finn grew up there, and she works at Hampshire, and her family was in that house for many generations, she said. So we could ask questions
there you
This
go.
is a house on, is this a house on Luffield Street?
on Lovefield. Yeah, the big long one that was.
Yeah, there's two houses. There's the long one, which I think would have been right alongside the canal probably, or built, pretty
What
close.
do you mean by the long one?
It's a lower house. There's the tall one, which is right next to Roland's basically. And then there's the one below it. So it's
I'm
kinda-
not sure where you're talking about.
just as you come off of Route 10, and you turn onto Luffield Street, there's a house right there that's for sale right now.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And just below it, there's another house.
Uh-huh.
That's the long, kind of thin one.
The
Okay,
one,
that's
the house that has the brand new fence, so you can't really see it.
Right, yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
and
and
my
that-
mistake. Those are not the houses that my
Okay.
friend was in.
Not your colleague, okay.
Where are you?
The big two-story farmhouse that if you go on Lovefield, just once you get past the bike trail, if you're coming off of Northampton Street, there's one kind of the oldest farmhouse, the one that I think is most well established. There's one with a horse paddock. It's the one that would be just after it on that same side.
Oh, you're down here.
Yeah, I'm down further, much.
You're down by the D, by the L or the D in Lovefield.
Yeah, yeah.
It's the one that has, it used to have a ramp and now it doesn't have a ramp, like a wheelchair ramp.
I'm not sure about that.
Okay, I think I know what you mean.
Right next to the railroad tracks, there's a little house. And then there's another one past it. I think, yeah.
But either way, John, yeah, if your colleague knows anything or can ask other people, that would be
I can
great.
certainly put the question to him.
I'm sure they'd probably appreciate your interest in it too.
Yeah, it's interesting here. If you continue down, you'll see that they'll show a little more of that swamp. I think it's on the next page, maybe. Yeah. Well, it looks like what they did was they dammed this area, so they just instead of trying to go through the swamp, they just used it as part of the canal and had where you can see it says earth dam and a breach, and then so basically the towpath was on the dam. A little deeper.
Is that concrete spillway the concrete structure that you can see from Lovefield at different points in the year? That
I am not 100% sure about that. I haven't really walked over there too much. I was planning on getting down there maybe this weekend. a little bit more. Well, the Boyles used to own the property. They may not anymore, but it's posted, but I know why it's been posted, so it's not, shouldn't be an issue going in there. I mean, the problem that they were having was hunters were just throwing, people throwing trash in there, so they posted it. Just to keep
Mhm.
people out.
Yeah, that's pretty gross.
Yeah. So, and it would be fairly easy to walk from, it should be fairly easy to walk from Luffield to O'Neill along the canal.
Yeah,
But, yeah, I thought this was a great find.
yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
Very,
Yeah.
very random,
Yeah.
but because I wasn't even looking for that, all of a sudden it popped up. I was like, whoa.
That's great.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah, like I said, every time I look for something on the canal, it never came up. So not really sure what causes that, but
Was this the one that Bill Carroll wrote? Or was that the other one?
I'm not sure.
I'm wondering if there's a, there must be a, who wrote it, it's at the top.
I think it was at the top.
Yep, Bill Carroll.
Yep. That's old. That's an old one then. Look, 1984.
Good though. I mean, it's, some good background on it. More than pretty much anything else that I've seen in our records anyways.
Yeah, and I did a pretty exhaustive search through the records as well, and I found a couple
Were
other,
Were you
couple
able to
other-
find this one?
what's that?
Were you able to find this one when you did the search?
Yeah, I've seen both of those ones. There's a couple others. Nothing amazing. But let's see if I can, if you're interested, I'll see what else I have. Nope. And all the other ones I got were just the barest of bones. Nothing that was really great. I did go into that area that we're just talking about. And I have, this was a photo I took from inside. You can clearly see the, this is the base, sorry, the bottom of the canal. And then on the sides here, we have some slopes up, and you can walk through it. It was pretty dry. You can walk all along it. So I mean, John's assessment that is in that area behind all the rental places, the rental self-storage places is,
Okay.
Is
Is it over to the right? Rental?
Yeah, I believe that's the new one that the Boyles were developing off the, like across from the Hilltown Charter School on Lovefield.
Okay. Yep.
But I didn't go all that far back. I was trying to find a specific culvert that I think is washed out and there's nothing left of it.
Yeah. So if you follow this down, it would take you past the post office, behind the post office, and down into that big ravine.
I think if you follow in the direction the camera is pointing, you would get to Lovefield Street first.
Oh, you're heading towards.
And then behind if you go away from the camera, you would end up on
O'Neill.
O'Neill.
O'Neill. Or no, sorry, the other way around. If you follow towards the direction the camera's facing, you go to O'Neill Street. If you fall backwards, you're on Lovefield.
Okay, yeah.
And then I want to show one other thing that was sort of developed by the Northampton Planning Department as part of this grant. And this is Google Maps showing the location of the canal. The canal is shown in this dark blue line here. And then there's too many other labels, but
Not very straight, is it?
no, because they were following the contours.
Yeah.
So this is that area that was notated as swamp.
Right.
So you can kind of, it's interesting. You can see where the tree line is, more or less follows what we're assuming is the old canal.
Yeah, you can, if you look close enough, you can really kind of tell where it went.
Yeah.
Here would be a little questionable whether it was here or there.
Yeah.
Not really sure.
And then something that I was surprised, it actually followed this stretch of West Street right here. It's shown as not being along West Street, but it did actually.
Yeah, because that culvert that
Yeah.
there is
Where it crosses Bassett Brook, that culvert is still there.
Yeah.
And it's now the bridge on it's the West Street bridge over Bassett Brook is the old culvert.
You go a little farther south, south and west. So the superintendent's house would have been where?
Somewhere, so this is
Over here.
it's somewhere around here, I think, was where the 134 West Street.
Yes, it should be right up,
That's
right up at the across from Little Street, somewhere in that area.
Oh yeah, here's Little. Yeah.
That's not too far away.
Yeah, and so the house would have been up a little bit higher away from and then they would have had.
That house is a little off the road too, anyways, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't really understand when you say the superintendent. The superintendent of what?
The canal.
Now,
Okay, it
I
is.
think they were also using it as a location to switch out the horses or the mule, whatever draft animals were being used for along the towpaths. That was one of the locations where they'd switch them out.
By Little Street?
Somewhere,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I think they called it the superintendent of that section of the canal, if I'm not mistaken.
Mhm.
Which is neither here nor there, but
Not for nothing, but just if you look at that area you were talking about, and if you look at the darkest area back where the person's house,
Sorry, you want me to go back to the West Street?
yeah, I was saying the superintendent's house that
Yeah.
you were just talking about. If there's debate about the specifics of the canal, if you look at that area, you can kind of see an arc
Yep.
that would get closer to that house and would seem like would be evidence of obviously the reason why it's greener in that area is because the water collects into the bottom of what was the canal. So it would almost suggest that it came up much closer to that house anyway than this line. This line doesn't seem to actually be reflective of what the greenery shows.
No, and this line was digitized from the plans. So there was a map survey, I guess, that was done quite some time ago. And I'm forgetting on the person who had done the work.
Walter?
Yes, thank you. And so this is digitized based off his work. And anytime you have old maps with old data and you try to put it on, you try to overlay it on top of, you know, the other mapping resources, that it's always going to be off.
If we wanted to, I suppose it's possible, if it mattered, somebody could go down there with one of those accurate GPSs and
Yeah.
pin the
And that's what we're trying to do. So there are locations where I'm going to turn another layer, showing some of the sites. So this one, there was an aqueduct here that crossed over the North Branch of the Manhan River. That's no longer existing, but here we have Lock 27 and Lock 26, both off of Pomeroy Meadow, and I believe that there's a, somewhere around here, there's a, there's like a historical marker as well, and you can actually see the old lock. It's still existing.
Year
So,
20, did you say?
Somewhere around where the Canal Lanes bowling alley is. And maybe I'm on the wrong.
So the alley was appropriately named, huh?
Yeah, exactly. Here it is.
Okay, lovely.
A little higher.
So there's Lock 23, and then I believe there's a historical marker somewhere right around here.
And again, if you look, you can see that line is the right rough shape, but you can actually see how below College Highway, it curves a little more to the
Yeah.
east.
Yeah, and you can see this row of trees here.
Right. Yeah,
probably.
exactly.
Yeah. So
Do you think it was over a little bit to the right and follow that tree line a little bit more? It seems like
yeah,
it's kind of
That's what we're saying. Yeah.
yeah, and,
That-
it would make sense because conservation commissions would not allow, you know, farmers, you can't really farm where you have a stream going through your property, so you leave it unplowed, uncleared, and it would grow up. And so now you have these tree lines, typically where there's water resources going through farm fields.
Yeah.
So now just to understand, is this Google overlay something everyone can access now, or is that?
No, so this was a draft. So it's been subsequently updated by the Northampton GIS folks, but I was given access to a draft thing, and I was able to get the data in here so I could go out in the field with my phone and try to locate a couple of the sites in Easthampton. I can share the draft with you all if you're interested. But it is, I think subsequently it has been updated. I just haven't had that, or I haven't been shared, that hasn't been shared with me.
Yeah, I'd be interested.
Me too.
Yeah.
That was great. Thank you.
Yeah, and it works if you have Google Earth. It's really easy to bring the that data into Google Earth. So yeah, let me
If you go back a few years on Google Earth, you look at some of the growth is not quite as thick. If you go back like 15 years or so, and you can actually see the canal a little bit better. It's maybe done in the fall or something, satellite photo. But,
No,
especially the part of-
years ago, Bob Schwab and Roma were going to the meetings in Westfield about the canal. Did Bob ever pass any information on to you?
I have a folder from Roma, I believe.
Okay.
It really, I mean, it had some interesting stuff in it, like a couple newspaper articles, but not a whole lot of new information.
I wonder if Bob would have more, but I don't know what condition he's in at this point. But I know, him being the Mount Tom historian, I don't know if he had acquired more information than Roma might have had.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, I had, I think, a Stop and Shop folder from him. They were talking about doing something there. They were abutting the canal.
I think I remember Bob having canal information.
Yeah. I probably have it.
I believe that Shannon met with members of Westfield and the Historic Commission and got a couple boxes of data related to that previous attempt. So, I mean, I haven't seen any of it, but supposedly.
Well, anyways, we'll pass along whatever else we come up with. And anybody who wants to go out and look for stuff, yeah. It's a good time of year now that the leaves are mostly gone and all that underbrush has kind of died off. So a lot easier to get out there now than it was in August and
Yeah, it's true.
summertime and whatnot. Yeah.
I just sent along those two. You get your emails later tonight. You'll see there are two emails from me forwarding the inventories that Mike had sent along and the
Thank you.
data I just showed you. You can try to bring it into Google Maps.
I'll dig out what I got from Bob and Roma and I'll share that too. I could probably scan it and ship it out. I don't know, maybe this weekend if I get a chance. Next week I'll be a little less busy, so hopefully. All right. Do we move along? I haven't done anything on demo delay revisions yet. So, anybody have any input on that at this point? No.
No. You want to take it? I think that so I made a shared folder.
Right. Yeah.
So I think that we should, if you want to start making some comments on the file in the shared folder.
That's what I was planning on doing. It was funny because I was looking for it, I couldn't find it, and then I was going through the September 9th meeting so I could write the minutes. And you had made the comment that it was sent on August 13th. I started looking for the 13th. I couldn't find it. It was sent on the 17th, actually. So I did find it, and I bookmarked it, so I actually can get into it fairly easy now. I hope, anyways. Let's see. And actually, that was the demo delay one, right?
Correct.
And so we have the current ordinance from August 13th. And
I'm gonna share that.
public hearing from the 12th. February 12th. I'm not sure what that was. Oh, the public hearing outline. That was good. That's really definitely worth sharing. Okay. No, you got it. Yeah. Yep.
So do you want me to forward the that link again?
Sure, forward it, please.
I don't know if I'm looking for it now, but I'm not sure if I'll find it. But what I was hoping we could do is just, I'll send this out after. You can open up this file, and then anyone who has the link can make comments or suggestions while it says up here reviewing.
Mhm.
And so there was, for instance, I have a comment here that rather than the commission making a suggested change, that it's the chairperson should make that initial determination. But so if everyone can take a look, make comments on the ordinance, then we can discuss them, what everybody's suggesting at the next, at that following meeting.
Great, sounds good. You did work quite a bit on there. Right, this all this in red is something you put in?
Yeah, yep. Anything in red is something that I had put in.
Good.
But there's still a lot to do.
Yeah.
Thanks for doing all that. My goodness.
Speaking
Yeah.
of speaking of that, the next month, actually it's not until the 24th of December, but Manny's demo delay is up on December 24th for the East Street property.
Mhm.
Okay.
You have to invite him in next month, I guess.
Just as a footnote, I
Yeah.
noticed that Dunkin Donuts has been bought out by another company.
Right.
I wonder how that may affect things.
But Dunkin Donuts, the
The corporation as opposed to,
corporation, or like the individually owned and operated ones. That,
The corporation was bought out by, do you remember who?
I don't remember who.
It was somebody fairly big. Trying to think. You know, I just saw that not too long ago.
there were two other like large chains that they own. I can't remember
Yeah,
that they're a part of.
And it may not have any effect. I just noted the fact
yeah,
that
because it seems
it
like
caught my attention.
There's been planning board meetings. I've gone to several of them and it has been postponed from August to September. There was one in October, which I couldn't get to because I had something else going on, but they're still talking about the traffic review. Planning board keeps bringing that up. There were questions about the traffic review and the amount of trees that they wanted to take down and the whole plan there. I think there's another planning board meeting at the end of this month about it.
Okay.
So planning board still hasn't, there are a number of issues that have been brought up about it.
Okay.
And the main one has been the traffic issue.
yeah. I haven't really heard anything since for a while now. So it's Inspire Brands. I guess it's a equity firm. Wanted to buy them up. So.
Right, yeah, that's what I had heard.
All right.
so I did find that link and just emailed you all the link to the shared
Well,
folder.
Okay.
Let me know if you have trouble accessing it.
We will let you know. Thank you. We'll be on you. Thank you.
Jamie, you're up again. The survey and planning grant. Can we get an update?
Yeah, so I emailed the draft RFQ to Mass Historic. They responded that they received it and are taking a look at it
Awesome.
and will get back to me with comments
Yep.
soon. So,
Super. Thank you for doing that.
as soon as I get their go ahead, we're gonna put it out. And it should be pretty straightforward. It's a request for quotes. So we're just evaluating the proposals. If they meet their minimum professional licensure requirements and education requirements, and then other than that, it's just the quote that they put in and references. So,
Okay. And now, are we going to have I mean, I don't know how we're gonna evaluate the interview people or,
we're not, so we're not looking at a proposal. We're telling them based off the Mass Historic, who's telling us what to include in the.
right, but I mean, when we get to the point of, actually hiring somebody.
I mean, the award method is, my understanding is it's just based off who submits the lowest price to do the work.
Okay. That's fine.
So if there were, if all the proposals come in at $2,400 or $2,499, then we'll review references, and we can have interviews if that's warranted.
Okay. Yeah, it's kind of, I was wondering. All right.
And then if there's any companies that you all know of that you want me specifically to reach out to when I put that out there, please let me know, because I don't want to miss anyone who you guys think highly of, who's done good work for us in the past.
Right. Okay. Actually, I had somebody reach out to me. I have to dig out that email. Kind of got buried in an old email account. I'll forward that to you, Jamie, and
Yeah.
probably include that. You might already have her information.
Yeah, I reached out to, let's see, there's the Mass Historic Preservation consultant listing.
Mhm.
And there was a bunch of people who were listed as, well, there are a bunch of people who are listed. Again, I don't know whether or not they meet the minimum qualifications, or whether or not they're interested in doing our projects, if they're local or not. But there are about 25 or 30 firms that I got off that list, and I will reach out to directly.
Okay. That sounds good. Okay, anything else? I guess not at this point. Next meeting?
If you want, can I go back to that for 1 second?
No, too late.
Okay.
Yeah, you can. Right, what do you need?
So this is just the listings.
Oh, okay.
So
You need help putting any of this together?
no, I at this point it's done.
Oh, okay.
I'm just waiting for their.
Well, I saw that reply from Peter today was talking about getting more detailed information, I guess.
Yeah, I think he just wanted to know, like, who, so I listed Archaeological and Historical Services Incorporated, and they wanted to know who am I actually reaching out to in that organization.
Okay.
But the follow-up at the end of this document is, here's the contact info. So
Gotcha.
it's just a sitting down and copying, pasting. And
Mhm. Okay. Sounds good. Anything else?
that's all I have.
Okay, good. Next meeting, second week of December. Does that sound right? Sound good?
That sounds insane. I can't. Just because I can't believe it's gonna be December, so. But
I
sure,
can't believe it's November.
Yeah, no kidding.
Um,
Yeah, okay, so what's good, 6:30 is a better time for everybody, or? Let's see, Wednesday the 9th, yep.
I'm sorry, December 9th, did you say?
December 9th, yep.
6:30, all right, thank you.
6:30 work for everybody? And it's fine with me, it's already dark at that time now. So.
You know, when you go to the doctor and they say, how about your next physical? Is a year from now at the same time, okay? You're like, oh.
Yeah,
All right.
the dentist just did that to me.
What time would you like to come in 6 months?
I'll be taking a nap then.
Okay. So December 9th at 6:30.
The meeting after that, it'll be getting lighter, Mike.
Yeah, we won't notice it till like March. So. Hopefully, yes, yeah, hopefully everything will get a lot lighter by then. Probably be a rough few months, but
Doing Zoom meetings, we don't have to worry about the weather. That's one thing.
true. Well, the lines could come down. We won't have
That's
the
true.
power.
That's
I don't know
true.
what we do then. Smoke signals.
We'll have to reschedule if that's the case.
Yeah. There you go. All right. So we have a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Thank you.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
I'm not gonna take a roll call on it. Okay, great. Thanks, everybody.
Have a good Thanksgiving, everybody, whatever
Yeah.
everybody's doing.
Stay healthy.
Be well, take care of yourselves and
Yes.
You too.
John, you have to get tested.
Every 2 weeks. Yeah.